Hello, welcome to Locked on Sharks, your home for all things. We're going baby chompy boys today because we're going to be digging into the Barracuda. My name is JD Young. Kyle is off doing Kyle things. I think he was abducted by the Australians again. So we are joined today by Michael Gutnick of San Jose Hockey Now. Michael, how's it going, buddy?
I'm good, JD. How are you?
Doing well.
I just saw that your game you're supposed to go to on Thursday was postponed. So
Yes, very disappointed. If you guys don't know by now, there are both the Sharks games this week have been postponed. I was supposed to go on Thursday. With my father-in-law is going to be in town, and it's always like a holiday tradition where we go to a Sharks game. And I was going to take my oldest, and we actually had like the Sharky Graham and we were going to do the whole thing, and of course no games, so I think we're going to go see Spider-Man instead. So
awesome. I actually just saw it myself, and it's pretty good.
that's everyone keeps saying it's pretty good, so I'm pretty excited to go see it. So yeah, we're going to be talking about the Barracuda here. We're going to kind of look at a big picture of the Barracuda, how their season's gone so far, especially since they've had such an interesting season to start. And then we'll talk about some of our favorite prospects. And of course, Ryan Merkley will probably be, enjoying the Ryan Merkley talk. So let's enjoy our fun audio and we'll get going.
You're Locked on Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
So the Barracuda have had a pretty interesting season, I'd say, so far. They've been kind of up and down. You know, they've definitely had their fair share of games where they've gotten blown out, but it kind of seems like they've started to round into form over the past couple games. So how would you summarize this kind of the season so far as we're getting ready to head into the winter break?
Yeah, definitely some ups and downs. Definitely a bit of a rocky start. There's been some themes here I've noticed, especially early on, or almost at the third of the way at the mark. Those first periods have been struggles at times for them. It's just kind of getting energy right out of the gate. But recently they've had some success, whether that's because of Evander Kane, who is an NHLer playing on the AHL team, could attribute to that, or just the fact that they're playing some teams that are struggling themselves right now. But definitely some first period struggles, and the goaltending has been a little bit inconsistent as well with Alexei Melnichuk and Zachary Sachenko. But yeah, it's just definitely been more about having to work from behind and digging themselves out of holes throughout this first portion of the season.
Yeah, you know when the Sharks called up, half the Sharkuda, we had the Sharkudas for 2 weeks, and I know they're calling guys up from the ECL and just trying to put together bodies and stuff like that. Like, how now that the team's kind of gelled a little bit, like, what do you think is the biggest difference between what we saw early in the season and what we're seeing now with the Barracuda?
I think we're seeing a little bit more chemistry for sure. Scott Reedy's play has jumped from his first season to his second, has been just off the charts. We're seeing some good plays from their Nick Merkley's, and Ryan Merkley's been really solid on the back end for them, and really they've had that chemistry building with some of their lines. They found some chemistry there. It really comes down to the goaltending and solidifying a little bit of that defense a bit more. That's been apparent recently. But yeah, definitely they've had a lot of roster shuffling throughout this first quarter, so to speak. It's just been pretty tough on them, and Roy Somner's been saying, "Oh, we had guys moving in and out," and it's just been a long haul for them really so far. And right now they're sitting at the bottom of this tied. I believe they're tied or at the bottom, still at the bottom of the Pacific Division, but they're working their way back up with a good streak here, really winning their last 3 of the last 4.
Yeah, so with the goaltending, I mean, the Sharks have been having issues with goaltending for years now. I mean, that starts at the parent club, and the Barracuda, they kind of had the same issues. And I mean, hasn't been since Reimer. Reimer's been outstanding for the Sharks, and like we saw Melnichuk a little bit last year. Like, what can you tell me about Melnichuk's game? Like, has he started to come into form? Like, what is it with him that's been, because it seems like the past couple of games he's been playing a lot better.
Absolutely. I actually was going to mention that his last start against the San Diego Gulls was his best by far. I mean, he was making all the saves. He stopped a penalty shot. And he was just turning shots left and right. And it's for me, it's the ones that are from what I've noticed. It's the ones that are from far out where he's struggling a bit more than the ones that are up close around the crease. So that's something I've noticed. But he's definitely. There's still this whole decision, there's no a clarified number one starter yet. It's still Melnichuk and Zachenko splitting time pretty much evenly. And then also they've had Zach Amon come up from the ECHL a couple times, and he's been rocked around a bit too. But I mean, you can't credit, just the goaltending here. I mean, there's been a little bit of lapses on defenses at times as well. But yeah, Melnichuk starting to round into form a bit. And hopefully continues that trend. They're facing Colorado this upcoming week, so that should be another high scoring affair. And hopefully, they did actually just scored 10 against the
it was like
Colorado.
That was like a 15-goal game or something like that. I think
that was the franchise high too, and I couldn't believe that. I was up in the press box watching all the goals, and the fans were chanting, "We want Ted!" And they finally got it with the final 30 seconds, and it was just a great moment. And that's probably been their best game of the year too. And they both, the guy who's 4 special teams goals, 2 power play, and 2 shorthanded, and Melnichuk stood on his head a couple times late in that game to keep it a 10-5 win. So. Yeah,
I've also noticed too their penalty kill has been pretty bad this year. Is it just because the guy's not getting enough reps, or just guys maybe playing out of position with it, or
it's they're just really unlucky with all these shot selections they've been having through. And actually, recently, I would say that they've actually done a little bit of a better job on the PK. Part of that being Adam Raska and Vander Kane have been a really solid unit, and Nick Merkley and Jeffrey Veal as the second. So they've definitely found some groups up front that they're working with. And I know they had a streak of 8 games of allowing a power play goal, so that was really bad. It's just been brutally awful this first part of the season. And on the flip side, though, the power play has been a bit of a bit better. So I definitely feel like it's kind of evening out a bit. I know their road power play is better than their home power play is better than worse than their road power play, or vice versa. So definitely at home they've definitely feel more comfortable. So it's definitely been nice to see that. But they are trying to improve that penalty kill a bit, and it's steadily going up. I know they're still at the bottom of the league there too, but they're working on it. So
only one place to go but up.
Exactly.
All right. Before we continue, we need to take a quick break and talk to you guys about our friends over at Built Bar. The holiday Christmas is this week. So if you're still got some last minute shopping, you got things to do, that's where you need to reach for a Built Bar. Tastes like a candy bar, but even better than a candy bar, because it's filled with so much holiday goodness, rich and decadent flavor, covered in chocolate, but amazingly low in calories, sugars, net carbs, and fat, and high in protein. You get the best of both worlds, delicious and healthy. So if you got to bust down those mall doors and battle all the holiday shoppers, or if you're just standing in endless shopping lines, Built Bar can give you something extra that you need to keep you going. So throw one in your jacket or purse. You never know when you're going to need it. Are you friends with Santa? Well, tell Santa to throw in a Built Bar into the stockings. With so many flavors, they'd make up anyone's Christmas morning a happy one. So head over to Built.com, use the promo code LOCKED15, get 15% off your order. Again, use the promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off at Built.com. So you mentioned Ryan Merkley. We at Locked On Sharks have been huge fans of Ryan Merkley since the day they drafted him. We knew it was going to be, he has all the offense in the world, but of course it's his defense. He's never going to be able to play defense. He looked really good in his short time with the Sharkudas, in his couple games there. Definitely much more limited exposure and play and stuff like that, with Brent Burns and Mario Ferraro playing 45 minutes a night. But what have you seen in Merkley's game this year where he's kind of taken that next step and should be getting close to being a full-time NHLer.
Yeah, definitely. I think, two things that stand out to me right now, his puck handling and his playmaking abilities, for sure. Both of them happen to be on the offensive side of things. His ability to move from the defensive zone to the offensive zone with ease really is just one thing I've noticed. His flashiness. He's been able to make passes through like 3-4 guys and those seam passes as well. So there's definitely a skill that he's mastered really well at the AHL level. Yeah, and then he doesn't have the greatest of shots, but he's still able to get the puck to the net and create those opportunities for guys like Scott Reedy and Jaden Schwartz to kind of get those second chance opportunities. On the defensive side, he does turn the puck over a few times. He has misskated over a few times, but he's definitely settled in nicely with Jacob Megna as a partner, the captain for the Barracuda. So I have noticed that pairing has been one of the consistent keys on that back end. They've shuffled up the rest, just whether it's injuries or just pairing, not really consistent combos there. So, but Ryan Merkley definitely solid, to be almost a point per game so far through this season, and you can factor in him being a captain on the power play, really just kind of taking over there. So, definitely a nice showing for him so far in this early going.
Yeah, and I think too, I mean, it's almost kind of that Erik Karlsson thing, right? Where it's like Erik Karlsson's so great because like what he does, right? His offensive skills. And if you just get like something out of him defensively, you're going to be fine. You're going to be happy with his results. And I think like we see it with Karlsson pairing him with Middleton, where Middleton can play that like defensive defenseman, and then Erik Karlsson can do wonderful Erik Karlsson things. And I think that's been kind of the same thing, right? Where it's like, let Merkley kind of go be Erik Karlsson Jr. and do that amazing transition and drive play in the offensive zone, and then having that like stay-at-home defenseman like Megna who can help balance out that group. And I think that's been they both came up together, which was good. That way, we kind of saw that same pairing. So with Merkley, do you feel like, I mean, it seems like he's probably not going to get much of a crack this year, but do you think next year he should be full on the Sharks?
Yeah. I know like Jake Middleton served his time, right? He served like over 5 years with the Barracuda, and he definitely different style of play than Merkley, but obviously a higher pick with the Sharks, right? First rounder. And Ryan I think he's definitely maturing himself too to get to the point. I spoke with him at the end of that 10-5 game. You could just see that he's definitely found his stride of confidence at times. He just had his first 3-point game or 3-assist game when they had that 10-5 win. But definitely, I think that he's still a year away from eventually becoming a full-time NHL pro. I know he got a glimpse of it this year and scored that one goal, which was nice. Yeah. Which he actually has as many NHL goals as he does AHL goals this year. So that's maybe a little memento for him there. So, but yeah, a lot of different call-ups this year because of whether it be COVID or injury, right? And Merkley one of the few there. But I think we're going to see him probably within a year, within the next year, get an opportunity with the San Jose Sharks.
Yeah, I think, and then you get that nice Burns, Karlsson, Merkley on the right side. Yeah. Let's fly. Yeah,
that would be really nice.
One guy, who's actually with the Sharks right now, Jaden Schwartz, like he kind of, small guy, but can score. Like, what have you seen from him that got his promotion to the Sharks this year?
Yeah, Jaden's definitely caught my eye with his speed and his stick handling. That's definitely one thing I know. He scored a pretty goal against the San Diego Gulls the other couple weeks ago that I remember that got a lot of attention. But like, it was just very well timed. This guy's been in the last year he had a injury to his hip, and he really it was a setback for him. I wrote that in a story recently on him. Part of it was about his recovery from his injury, but then also he has a passion for wave surfing and wakeboarding. If you've ever done that,
I have. It did not go well.
But yeah, he's definitely like during his off seasons he's doing that. But then during the off, he's also finding time. He hangs out with Noah Gregor and Zach Sachenko a lot, and he's definitely found his stride this year. And I think that first game he played against the Vancouver, he definitely I saw some potential there, and he had that breakaway opportunity. I thought he was going to score against Demko, but he denied it. But definitely exciting player well-rounded. His size definitely isn't an issue. It's definitely him getting the speed, and playing with a guy like Hurdle is definitely going to help too.
Yeah, and I think that was, like we saw with Gregor where, Gregor brings that speed, and just having more of that speed, especially when you have like guys like Hurdle, who's not the most fleet of foot, and Couture's starting to slow down a little bit, and some of these older guys, and it's nice to see. You're like, oh yeah, you can have fast guys on there. So, and I think putting him with Hurdle, putting him in a position to succeed, and it's not like, hey, go play on the fourth line and get 8 minutes tonight type of thing. So good to see that. I know they're a little short-handed up front, especially with Balcers out and LeBanc now gone, but
tough on the wings
for a good chunk of the season.
The wings, they're losing their depth.
Yeah, and then you send your 19-year-old Swedish winger to Sweden. I'm still not over it. So, Scott Reedy, who I have really enjoyed, I've nicknamed him Joe Pavelski 2.0 just because, like, you saw the scoring in college.
Captain America 2.0.
Captain America 2.0. He's going to come in here. I think not this year, but next year is going to be the when he makes his big mark. So he's been off. What has he got? 13 goals, I think, right now so far.
Yeah, he leads the team. Definitely good there.
That's right up there with Hurdle in the NHL. So what does Scott Reedy do so well that makes him so proficient at scoring?
Yeah, definitely his net front presence for sure. He's able to get those loose rebounds or find that backdoor and bury it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely coming from being from the University of Minnesota, he's definitely have experience of playing a lot. He played both in the wing there, but now he's translated more to playing a center position and with the Barracuda, and he's definitely found his groove there. He's just been able to really just use his body, use his physicalness to kind of drive his way to the net, kind of like a power forward in a way, but he's just been able to really collapse in front of defenses and take advantage of opportunities. He scored a goal last night against San Diego that was similar to that, with Kane shooting the puck, and it was a rebound right in front there. So, definitely Reedy's promotion was well earned as well this season. That wasn't when they were the Sharkudas. It was when he rightfully earned that, I believe, at that time.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised, especially if the Sharks continue to fall out of the playoff race. I know that's still a little while away, but the way they're trending right now, if some of these guys maybe start getting a more bigger look. So before we finish, though, we got to talk to you guys about our good friends over at BetOnline. So BetOnline's got you covered for all season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. As football season continues the march to the playoffs, BetOnline remains your number one spot for all sports action this season. Head over to the new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code LOCKEDON to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. So, who would you say has been the MVP of the Barracuda, or what person do you want to talk about? Which guy's been kind of getting you excited?
Definitely Scott Reedy was one of them. He's definitely been, nice to see. Definitely grow from his second year. Just really consistently getting to the front of the net and just scoring those goals in timely fashion. I think Noah Gregor at the start of the year, now he's with the Sharks. He's earned that promotion. I think he's definitely one of the players that will stick around a lot now. And I got the sense of that when I did a story on him, even before he had all those call-ups when they postponed game against, or the outbreak game against the Jets. That was kind of like a whirlwind. Noah Gregor, definitely his speed and his strength was something that I noticed early on. And he was on, I believe, a 7-game point streak when he got called up from the to the Sharks right now. And all right, so there's that. Nick Merkley, another guy. This is the other first-round pick on their team. His speed. He had a breakaway goal in that 10-5 game. Just really well-rounded player, and he took a puck to the face last game.
I saw that. It looked brutal. Yeah.
I think he did stay in the game. The other, he that hurts. I saw the replay. I was like, I can't. You hate to see it, but the other guy, Joachim Blickfield has also been really consistently starting to pick up. He was on a drought on the road for a long time, and finally started to get some goals. Not just of the power play variety, but he had even strength as too. So it's been nice for him to see. He did get hurt in the Ontario Reign game, and there was no update on timetable of whether he's going to come back soon.
I'm sure it's day to day, and we'll never hear anything because of the teal curtain.
Awkward collision in the boards. So. And it's funny. I'm working on a story on him too, where he's supposed to, play for Team Denmark at the Olympics, potentially with how it's going. So that's exciting for him, and I know he's eager to play in that, to play with a guy like Nikolai Ehlers or Oliver Borgstrand. So Blackfield's definitely making a solid case right now. He could easily be one of the next call-ups in the future if he's healthy. So
how about our boy John Leonard, who we loved very much last year? I know his season was a little slow, but it seems like he's starting to pick up a little bit.
Yeah, John Leonard, quiet out of the gates. He had 3 points in his first 14 games. He scored a nice goal early in the season and then just kind of dropped off from there. I don't know what happened to him, but now his last few games, he's found some chemistry with Jeffrey Veal and Christoph Rubik. And he's got 4 points in his last 3 games now. So maybe this is a good sign for him moving forward, find some chemistry. I know John Leonard's been in that top 6 for a while, and with Shellman gone, and they've just been shuffling the lines, and now with Evander Kane in the mix is one of the top wingers. So it's he's been kind of like that odd man out, kind of having to find his groove offensively. Sasha Chmielewski also been kind of being consistent as well. I would still put him behind Hobblewalks in terms of where he is in terms of potential and where he's been going, but still just scoring at a consistent rate. And he scored a nice goal against San Diego as well. So, and got a nice assist on the Reedy goal as well. So he's definitely, him and Leonard are starting to pick it up offensively. On the defensive side, still trying to get more production. I actually have liked their new Patrick Hallway. He signed a professional tryout recently, and he's been really nice in that third pairing with Artemi Knyazov. And he scored his first AHL goal last game, and Roy Saunders said really great things about him. And so there's definitely, they've maybe found a gem or diamond in the rough there. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Nice. So I know we're still buried into the season, but have you thought about next season when you're gonna have that 2020 draft class from the Sharks, where it's Ozzy's gonna be here, Tristan's gonna be here, Gushin's gonna be maybe be here, Brandon Coe, and then the Barracuda are gonna be in their new arena. Have you thought about next season?
And they're hosting the rookie tournament, the rookie face-off tournament. I'm very excited for that. I think their potential to reclaim any sort of hierarchy in the division is definitely right there. Magnus Krona, also the goalie from Denver,
Big Chungus, yeah,
they're gonna have some good depth now to really kind of roll out 4 lines every night and not just be physical, but also just have that speed and that really smart IQ, to run things well. So it's definitely next year's exciting, and the Barracuda, they've promoted it well. I've seen it all over just the barrier reef So it's definitely exciting for the next year for sure in terms of their potential.
Yeah, I know. I'm already planning on for the rookie tournament, making my way up to
for sure
San Jose for that. So I haven't told the missus yet, but we'll figure that out. There's plenty of time. So Michael, I think that you've you said it all. Where can the people find you and your work? If they're not already following you, they should be. But where can people find you?
Follow me on Twitter at Michael Gutnick. I'm on Facebook as well, Michael Gutnick Journalist. That's I have a little Facebook page for all my writing stories as well for San Jose Hockey Now. So definitely been fun covering the Barracuda and covering the Sharks too at times. So.
So you said you got on Blickfeld, right? Is your next big story?
Yeah, that should be the next piece coming out. We'll see when that comes out. I know his injuries kind of backstalled it a bit, but I just want to, hopefully when he gets back to 100% and we'll get that story out there. And then, they got a long long homestand coming up this first part of January. So I'll be at all the games, and who knows? We'll see what happens with Evander Kane. It's, will he get traded? Will he stay here? It's kind of the big question.
They're gonna bury him and then buy him out this summer because anyway.
Yeah,
yes, that's my thinking. So that's our Evander Kane Barracuda talk. So all right. Who cares about Evander Kane? Anyway, you can also find us, of course, on Twitter at Locked On Sharks, where we post all the memes. We'll have to come up with some fun stuff this week since there's no games, but we'll do something stupid this week. So Facebook, Instagram as well at Locked On Sharks. You can find me at My Fry Hole. Kyle, of course, is at Kyle Demetrius. So make sure you guys check us out on YouTube. We are marching towards 500 subscribers, where I will recreate the jumbo slide in my living room once we get to 500 subscribers. So please do that. I'm looking forward to all the bruises on my back for that. And we'll be back tomorrow with another guest. We'll have Lachlan in the crease to talk about how the Canucks have turned things around there since we were supposed to be playing the Canucks, but we're not. We're still going to talk about the Canucks. So, Michael, thank you. And we will catch you guys tomorrow.